you know what we get to do now? We get to have some fun. We get to laugh and smile and watch some videos on the internet, because that's what we do here. I hope everything's lining up properly. I see a little bit of a lag, but it is what it is. This is what we got for now. We might be buying another PC. We're going to try to change our internet a little bit, update everything. I am in my fucking garage, okay? This is a garage. I'm a little bit far from the modem, and we paid for the equipment. We got lots of equipment to be able to make all this happen. But again, I am not the fucking millionaire. I do not have millions of dollars to be able to drop $150,000 on a fucking professional studio right now. One day we will. But as of now, this is what we're working with. So we got Fresh and Fit is in Dubai with Justin Waller and Sneeko and Sterling Cooper. And there's two guys, I can't remember their names off the top of my head. Yeah, they're all in Dubai. There's a Fresh and Fit clip here from their podcast that they did in the hotel room in Dubai. Tate's manager dropped this untold bombshell about Vice. So we're going to watch that video now. I love Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, Justin Waller, Sterling Cooper. All of you guys, thank you. Thank you. You guys are making me the man that I am. You gave me a little bit of kicking ass and a little bit of role models, people that I want to aspire to be like. So thank you to you guys. Fuck you, Sneeko, you're younger than me. We're gonna sit together soon. I hope when it happens, somebody clip this up now, so then when I'm on the podcast with Sneeko, we can throw this video up and he can see. Look at where we come from, Sneaks. Fucking Barrie, Ontario, my garage, skateboards on the wall. You know, nothing special, just a little degenerate, but we're gonna be huge. You'll look like Bradley Martin. He's the one that sells me steroids, by the way. Anyway, I'm having fun. Let's get into the video. So, again, this is Fresh and Fit clips. Tate's manager dropped an untold bombshell about Vice. We go to the water depot now? And we get alkaline water? Fuck, dude. It's the best tasting water in the world. I do not know why, but alkaline water, man, high pH. Get yourself some alkaline water. Let me know how it is.
And the thing is, too, they said, because, I mean, I'm a pretty cautious guy. And I said, look, I'll go on camera because I believe in the Tates and I believe in the War Room. It's a very positive organization, as everyone knows who's inside of it. I'm prepared to put myself in the limelight. And I've been doxxed. I've been cancelled. I've had threats against my family. I'm not crying about it like Matt is. I've received threats, too. But the one thing that hurts me the most is if these guys had just done the job objectively like they said they would. Yep. Because they said, look, all right, I can promise you, I can give you my guarantee, Matt's words, that we will show both sides of the story. Why then, in a 3-hour final interview, with your questions, could you only show 10 seconds, friend? That's not two sides of the story. That's not objective at all. So
it took them forever to put it out too.
Yeah, they don't. Dude,
this was back in August. They did this stuff.
I can explain that. I can explain that, by the way.
Waited.
I can explain this.
If you guys don't know what they're talking about right now, so Andrew Tate back in August had this guy Matt from Vice. He went and stayed with the Tates. He was going to do a both sides interview, expose whether or not he's a misogynist or he's a good guy. Blah blah blah. The Tates actually took him underneath their wing. They taught him how to box. They took care of him. They pushed him to be a better man. They let him go on the emergency meeting podcast. They did a lot of cool things. So what they're talking about right now is about how people like Vice go and misuse information or skew it in one side or the other. Yeah, so that's what they're talking about right now. They're talking about Vice News coming into the Tate's house, them treating him amazing, and Vice lying about doing an unbiased piece. They're going to show both sides of the coin. They're going to be like, well, see, this is why people think he's a misogynist, because he jokes around saying women can't drive, which they can't. So I don't know why that's not a problem, and such like that. So anyway, that's what they're talking about, just to give you guys a little bit of context. Back to the video.
I'm not sure if this has been explained on the internet before.
Probably not. Hit it.
Vice made the decision not to air the documentary. Now, I'll explain why. Here it is.
Bombshell.
At the end of it, I said, when is it coming out? They said, well, Andrew's quite topical right now. It'll come out 3 weeks, maximum 4. I said, okay, cool. We'll look forward to it. It didn't come out. And what happened was, this is the key indicator, Vice was continually calling Andrew saying, can we please do the final interview again? Because they knew it was so bad. And with everything they had, they didn't have sufficient dirt to put out something that would further their agenda to make Andrew look bad. So they decided, I need to scrap that. The moment he got arrested, the next day, Vice contacted the legal team and said, whoa, we're going to release it again. Because all of a sudden, they had enough dirt to make Andrew look bad.
Wow.
They shelved that project because they couldn't use what they had to further their agenda.
Wow. If that doesn't tell you he's innocent, I don't know what does. That's crazy, man. Could you imagine? Imagine doing an interview and not releasing it, and then turning around and have to get put in jail for false allegations. Anyway, real quick. Okay, anybody that doesn't understand this, the Andrew Tate case that's going on right now, Nowhere else in the world would he still be held in prison. So anybody that thinks that I'm just talking about the situation. I'm not telling you to go love Andrew Tate. I'm not saying he's the best thing in the world. I really like the guy. But that's me. That's my own personal life. That's okay. I'm allowed to have my own personal beliefs, right? Anywhere else in the world, he would not be being held. There's this thing. It's called scopatory evidence, okay? So scopatory evidence in the United States of America, and I believe that it applies to Canada, but scopatory evidence is evidence that makes the defendant have a case to stand on and should probably be released. And there's been so much scopatory evidence that's been put out. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly and I don't just sound like an idiot. There's been so much evidence lately that's come out that's proven that these girls have set this up and this is all fabricated. If this was happening anywhere else in the world, he would not still be in jail. Romania is a corrupt country built on the old communist regime that has a lot of different discrepancies and unjust things. Like, for instance, the reason that he's in jail right now is the way that it works is that they can provide the thought process of a case to a judge, and then the judge can detain the individual for 30 to 180 days while the criminal investigators go on essentially a fishing expedition. I don't know. I just wanted to pause it and rant about that. So that is what that is.
It was done. See? It was 6 months later, and then the day after.
You know, it's going to be awesome when a bunch of you guys are in the chat. It'll be much easier to bounce back and forth, but this is quite hard to just sit here and talk to a camera. And anybody that's been trying to do it, keep going. Keep doing it. Keep doing what you need to do.
After his arrest, boom, they're on again. It's so transparent.
I knew when they dropped it out, they got arrested, they were pushing that agenda. Because before, they didn't post it, like you said. All of a sudden, he's in jail, he's being heralded as a trafficker. Put it out
with the fake text message,
Yeah.
like all this stuff with the voice notes and all this stuff.
And purely logically too, if you've got a documentary where you're spending time with the world's most Googled man, why would you sit on it for 6 months?
Yes.
Because they couldn't, what they had, they couldn't use. And we see that 3-hour interview, they could only use 10 seconds, which was me having a tantrum anyway.
Bombshell right there.
It's hilarious.
And now they're going to sell it to BBC for quite a bit of money. It's going to air on national television, not just the internet.
Wow.
There it is. It's
See,
a money
and they
play.
waited. They waited. That's the crazy part is they waited. And they're trying to spin it in a certain light.
What? Have you guys seen this? Go watch it. There's one part of there where you can tell that it's AI voice that made it, and there's a guy that went into it, a voice analyst specialist that went into it and showed you guys the hues of Andrew's voice and like the AI generated voice and so on and so forth. There's lots of information out there, but anyway, go watch it. Go watch that Vice interview, and you guys come back to this, get in the comments, and let me know what you think, because I can clearly tell. And I mean, I know who Vice is, but I can clearly tell that it's a biased interview and they're trying to paint the picture that they think. Not what's necessarily actually happening, but what they want people to think.
But the text message, whatever. Here's the thing. Oh, these voice notes of him saying all this other stuff. Number one, they didn't show the full text conversation. When you look at the full text conversation, the girl clearly says in it, it's not if I consent. But they didn't show that, did they?
I'd love to talk to that.
Please,
I thought the left was meant to be tolerant. Now, hang on. Let's go down this rabbit hole. Most popular book of all time over the last few decades.
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey. All right. So based on that, we know that there is demand for BDSM type dominant intimacy. Whether you're into it, whether you're not, it's beside the point. I thought the left wasn't meant to kink shame. Because that's exactly what they're doing. And if you listen to Andrew's voice, if it is even his voice, that's not the voice of someone threatening.
Yeah.
That's kink talk.
Yeah.
That is dominant, submissive, BDSM style kink talk. I thought the left was, if you want to identify as a bottle of sparkling water, then you are that. If you want to identify as a yacht, all right, you're a yacht. But when it comes to a dominant man who's famous for being dominant, interacting with women in a kinky way, which is clearly a popular one, because most popular book of all time, 50 Shades of Grey, or at least the last few decades, we can't put those two together, and all of a sudden, no, he's admitting. It's not real. It's such nonsense.
People don't have common sense. I talked about this when because so many people sent me this video. Look, your friend is beating on a woman. I looked at it, and it's a video of him on the bed with one of his girls. And I was like, are you stupid? This is a tripod. You think if a guy's really assaulting a woman, he's going to set up the tripod and be like, hey, come here. And didn't I tell you, listen, to slap her like this?
Bad
I had to say it, yo. Andrew, I love you, bro, but you're a terrible actor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, something like this is like so obvious that that's what they want to do. And then this woman goes on twice on news stations saying, it's what we did. It was a kink that we had. But they're still trying to say he's a woman beater. It's incredible how people don't have common sense. Common sense is no longer common. People lack critical thinking skills. If someone's really assaulting a woman, you'd be damn sure they're not going to put a tripod in front of a bed with a camera and record themselves doing it.
And to be fair,
Stupid.
us as guys that have been dating girls for a while, who requests that type of behavior? Girls do.
bro.
Girls are like, yo, slap me, choke me. Is like, shit, all right.
Yo, straight up, dude. I have not been with a single girl that doesn't want to be choked in the bedroom. That's what they want, bro. They want to be tied up to the bed frame. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's crazy too. I thought the left was kink tolerant. I thought they were all about, your sexuality and so on and so forth. But the second that they can use it against somebody else, all of a sudden it's an issue. That seems to be the general thing to do nowadays is, I'm going to say this and I'm going to preach this and this is how I want to be treated. But then the second that you do something and I can use this against you, now it's a double-edged sword. Now I can have the double standard. Now I can decide to shame you for the same thing I was asking you not to shame me for. It's crazy. We live in a clown world. Anyway.
If you want me to do it,
Most men have got zero interest in that.
I'm independent. I'm a boss,
who
babe.
cares?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Like, what?
I'll give it a million. I don't like doing it, but they're like, do it. I'm like,
They've read the book, man.
yeah.
They want it more than anyone else.
But see, these soy boys, right? The guys that critique guys like us that call us fake alpha males, whatever. When none of us here run around and say that we're alpha, none of us, right? But they'll say that, and they don't realize that women crave this type of intimacy with guys that I guess
Genuine desire.
meet our measure. But these soy boys don't get that from women.
They can't comprehend. They can't comprehend.
Look at Justin's getting ready to get in this. I love Justin. Justin, you're the GOAT.
Those kind of men, those kind of soy boys you're talking about, they cannot comprehend a woman wanting him to do those kinds of dominant physical acts to her, because it has never happened to him in his entire life.
And you, as a former, spicy star, you know this better than anyone else. I mean, that's what the girls want. That's what it is. It's just a part of.
It's such an. Guys like us understand this because we have had experience with numerous women.
Yeah.
The average guy does not understand how common that kind of kink actually is amongst women. And a lot of guys I talk to, because I coach guys on this stuff, a lot of guys are really reluctant to escalate like that.
I don't even like doing it. But they want to do it.
Their partners are the ones that are saying, harder, do this more
There's
intense.
a famous rock star from NXS. Remember when he died? They found him asphyxiated, hung with an erection. So he basically was trying to choke himself, but he died during a sex act.
Whoa.
I'm not making mockery.
Of all ways you're going to go out.
I'm just making sense. That was an orgy which went wrong. NXS, famous rock star. So it happens. There's a shop called Ann Summers in the UK. All the listeners who are watching from the UK, and it sells whips, handcuffs, this and that for men and females. Like it's a female shop. I mean, they sell these kind of things. So what do you expect they're going to do with it?
Do you know what's
Police truncheons.
Do you know what's even more crazy? There was an article that came out, not I think it was within a week or two of the documentary, that talked about the fact that the majority of women have these sorts of fantasies.
It was from Vice.
It was from Vice.
Yes, from Vice.
I exposed that. Vice were pushing that, saying it's a normal thing, these kind of scenarios.
So it's
I mean,
normal
great,
unless
whatever
you
you
get
call it.
someone who the left doesn't like doing it, and then it is actually, all right, got it. Good to know.
It's just a-
Yeah, so like I just said, they'll promote it to defend themselves. They'll put it out there for the world to see. But the second that somebody that they want to take down or that they disagree with, they'll use it as ammunition. Watch out! They're coming for you, baby!